Well, I decided to come down here to make another video. I'm downstairs now. I'm not in a dungeon, I'm in the garage. But I wanted to show you something. Tried this earlier and I had to go a different route. Don't you just love technology? I hate it, but it serves a purpose. Anyway, so from my previous video, I got cut off, and it's all about this technology garbage, and I can't stand it. But anyway, we moved. So I talked about my car, and it used to be Pop's car, and how I really didn't have the heart to touch the car. So at some point, I did get motivated and came down here and started tearing it apart. And I'll do some more videos on what I saw when I took it apart. As far as there's been people work on this car other than me, and the shoddy work that was done on it. So that's another video. Well, what we have here is the motor I was telling you about in the last video. Now, when he took me to the shop, Rick Phillips' shop, Rick said, "You wanna see the motor?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay." So we went to the back of the shop. And this thing it weighs about 600 pounds or more. I mean, it's iron block. It's got aluminum heads, but break it down a little bit so you can see it. All right. So he said, "You want to see it?" I said, "Yeah." We got over there, and it's on its own stand. Looks like somebody built the stand to make it fit. I said, "Yeah." He said, "You want to hear it?" My dad said, "Yeah, let him hear it." I said, "Yeah, I want to hear it." He had a battery over there, bucket with a gas line in it, stuck another line from over here to the pump, put the fire to it, hit the button, it fired up. Now, this thing is open headers. And I don't know if you've ever heard a motor, and granted, I'm used to it. We used to go to the drag strip in the 70s and see there was no mufflers then. They were open headers. Drag racing was real drag racing back then. There weren't no mufflers on the cars because people thought it was too loud. There was none of that. That didn't exist. You heard a big block, open headers. Yeah. Now granted, some people seem to think that it's better since they got mufflers on them, they're quieter, and hey, whatever. Back then, it was raw. Open headers. He cranked this thing up, man. It put a smile on my face. I can hear it. I can still hear it. And it's just sitting there running. I can hear it running. And it puts a smile on my face because I already know what it sounds like. And I ain't even put it in the car yet. But this is the old man's last hoorah, so to speak. This is basically him saying, "You know what? I'm be gone, but I'm gonna leave you something." And see, I didn't know he was doing this. I guess that's what got me about it. He was. I took him to the doctor a lot, and me and him spent a lot of time together. We watched the last movie we watched. I can tell you what it was. It was a Star Wars movie. I can't remember which one it was. It was a Star Wars, some kind of Star Wars movie. It's been a while since I've seen any of those movies, but it was a Star Wars movie. And we watched it at my grandma's. Well, he lived in the house my grandma used to live in. When my grandma passed away, he moved into her house. And so, I don't ever remember him even telling me he was working on anything. He I guess that's why he had that grin on his face, because he got one over on me and I didn't realize it. When I got over there, he was like, "Well, I'm gonna show you where the car is." I thought he was just showing me where the car was, so I would know that it was okay and it was safe. That all the other ones got stolen. He already, once I informed him that they had took all the cars from the other houses, and that this car sat actually at a shop in Hicks, and the only person who knew where it was him. He didn't even tell my cousin, who was a big douche. Anyway, the idea that he got me. He got one over on me. I never even had a clue that it existed until he said something about it. And then, his last week, and before he could stop talking, this is what he said to me. And it kind of hit hard, because my whole life has just been about this. My obsession with the automobile has been, I got that from him. Hot rod books. The dude bought a hot rod book every week. That's when Hot Rod magazine, you could buy a magazine, magazine stands, there was all kinds of books. Any kind of hot rod books you could think of. A magazine, Corvette, Mustang, Camaro, Trans Am, just whatever, Carcraft, Hot Rod Magazine, Pontiac High Performance, all these magazines, and I got a whole bunch of them in there in my library, because I have a library that's got my books in it and his books in it. That's another video. People don't buy magazines anymore because they don't make them hardly. It's hard to find them. I think Muscle Car still makes a magazine. I seen one in Publix on the shelf, and they're sticklers. It's got to be a whole bunch of old guys, because these new people want to look at everything on the internet. But I like a hard copy. Hard copy's got info. Hard copy picture, you can look at it as many times as you want. You ain't gotta. If your phone crashes, then you can't watch it. You can't look at it. Yeah. Anyway, he got me. He got me with that one. And I just, it left me speechless. But he said something to me before he left. And what he said was, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. I can't take that car with me. You can't take it with you. It doesn't matter what you build, how much money you got in it, how powerful it is, how much noise it makes, how much joy you get out of it. You can't take it with you. I like cars. I love cars. I don't love cars more than life. I don't love cars more than my wife or anybody that's around me. I don't love them like that, but I'm pretty obsessed with them. I like cars than I like most people. My car ain't never let me down. My car ain't never hit me or hurt me. Yeah, I ain't got mad at it, but it brought me more joy than some people in my life have. So I put a lot on cars, because I found peace in turning wrenches. I found peace in the sound of the drag strip, the loudness, watching cams, listening to cams talk, it's the smell of burning rubber and racing fuel. There ain't too many places you can find solace in. If you find solace in your garage, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And granted, no, you're not going to take it with you. And grandkids ain't into this. See, the thing about it is, it didn't die with him. He left it here with me. This right here, it'll die with me. None of the kids want to work on cars. None of them have any excitement. If anything, if they made lots of money, they go buy a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or whatever. They go buy something. They don't know the joy of building your own car or building your own engine and it being powerful in the way it sounds. And, granted, I mean, this thing could be more than what it is. I mean, I like it the way it is personally, but I guess if I wanted to just throw loads of money at it, I could build a race car, put a turbo on it, or a big blower or supercharger, and it'd just be just this big behemoth sitting in this garage, and the only thing I could do is drive it on a racetrack. But I decided I didn't want to do that. I can tell you right now, this monster behind me is, I'm pretty sure it's enough. I'll give you that. It's enough for this car. And granted, I'm going to do some stuff to it, strengthen it up, because that's a lot of motor. And it had a big block in it before, but the big block that was in it ain't making what this one is. And with that grin he had on his face, I already know this is way more than what was in it before. Big block in it before had a street cam in it. It was docile. And before I even bothered to put this in, this has been sitting here. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to take it apart, and I'm going to see what's in it. And I'm going to put it back together. The same way with whatever's in it. Might freshen up a few things. I might even change the cam in it. I personally ain't into the flat tappet cams, but most of the old guys, that's what they ran. Flat tappet with those solid lifters. And granted, it sounded nasty. You can't take nothing away from it. And that 383 stroker that was in here, it sounded nasty. And it had a big flat tappet cam in it. I mean, it was huge. But that sound, the sound, man, that sound got you. You didn't care. You didn't care if after, I don't know, driving it around for a year or two, that cam's going to wipe the lobes right off of them lifters, and you'd have to replace it. Personally, my generation is in the roller cams. So almost everything I got, except for the Frank Bullet, has got a hydraulic roller cam in it. No, they ain't huge, but they're on the line. Put it that way. This thing, I don't know if it's got a roller cam in it, but I'm going to find out. And if it does, if it doesn't, it's going to. Because I like the way it sounds. And I like the ease of drivetrain harmonics. Say that with me. Drivetrain harmonics. Yeah. That flat tappet stuff. It's good for a while, but granted, I'm pretty sure I won't drive this thing as much as I'll drive the other ones, but I don't want to have to freshen it up all the time either. Flat tappet cam technology, although it's supposedly 2026 and that's supposed to be everything progresses, that hasn't. I haven't done a whole lot of research into flat tappet cams because it's not my thing. I'd rather just put a roller in it and go on. Which we'll see. I'll do some research on it because I'm not a Pontiac guy. I built 2 Ford engines over there. So this is new. This is a new animal. But I'm all in. I want to learn. I want to learn. I want to make it better than what it would be. He always said, be a better man than me, right? I mean, I don't think he had a hand in that, because by the time he took me over there, he couldn't walk. He couldn't hardly move. So I think Rick built this. I know he gathered the parts up. He had been gathering the parts for a while. I remember when he could walk and could talk, and he was talking about them boys in Leoma, and he had books, and he had been talking to people on the telephone. So he did some research. This was going to be his coup de grace, when he was going to put it back together. If he hadn't died, he probably would have got it back together. Got it painted. I probably would have painted it. I painted it the last time. That's how it ended up the color it is. It was blue. If you've seen any of my Instagram photos, this car used to be royal blue. That was his favorite color. Well, from royal blue back to butternut yellow. I'm not a fan of butternut yellow, personally. But faded, I could dig it. Butternut yellow in its entirety, shiny and wet. Not a big fan of that color yellow. Chrome yellow, I could do. But I don't really like yellow. I'd rather have a dark color. Highland green. And I thought about painting the whole car another color. A completely different color. I haven't made up my mind. I'll probably just leave it the way it is. Put another trunk lid on it. Fenders, hood, put the seats back in it. Rinse it off. Leave it patina. Put the bumpers back on it and just drive it around, man. You know? I gotta get to work. This ain't gonna fix itself. And the grandkids ain't gonna fix it. I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I'll get some of them over here. They ain't interested in this. They ain't interested in nothing but their telephones. They ain't interested. I've taken them to the drag strip. They're just not interested. There's nothing interesting to them about this. You'd think dudes, and when I was a kid, and they introduced me to this, when he introduced me to this and took me to the drag strip, and I first heard that, I was hooked. You can't hook them now. They ain't, it's loud, it's noisy. They either like it or they don't. They either like it the first time you show it to them, or they'll never like it. I took my grandson. He ain't interested. He'd rather have a Japanese car. I told him, you not park that Japanese car in my driveway. Sorry. Any of them. You come over to the house, you driving a Jap car, park it out there in the yard, in the road. You're not parking it in my driveway. I ain't got nothing against them. That ain't me. That ain't my thing. I'm an American. I like American cars. I grew up in an era of American muscle cars, so that's what I like. I drive a Mustang. I've drove a Mustang for a long time. I'll probably drive a Mustang till I'm dead. Unless they bring out something else that tickles my fancy, but I seriously doubt that's going to happen. I'm probably driving the last car I'll ever buy. I drove that black car, the Machine, 1998 Cobra. I drove that car for 20 years. Before that car, I drove I had an 88 GT. Before that, I had an 86 Coupe. Before that, I had an 89 Coupe. Yeah, that'll probably be the last car I buy. Got 65 out there. Hopefully I get there running and I'll drive around in there. Then I really will be an old man riding around in that car. But until then, this is where I'm at. This is it. That's his last hurrah. This will be my last hurrah. When I'm gone, whoever gets it. Not that it doesn't matter, because like he said, it don't matter. I'm leaving. It don't matter who get what, who got what. That is not the most important thing on my mind right now. I'm dying. You got the car. You got the engine. We ain't even got to talk about it no more. And we didn't. Once he showed me where everything was, we didn't speak on it anymore. Concentrated on him. We talked a little bit till he couldn't talk. And then once he couldn't talk, I did the talking, and he nodded his head. He could still understand me, he just couldn't speak. We didn't talk about it. There wasn't nothing to talk about. This can only go so far. You can't take it to the grave with you. And then if your kids don't care nothing about it, then it's just a bunch of junk laying around. To me, it's not junk. You know, I didn't know it existed. I knew this existed. I've known this car my whole life. Waited to get it, and then it was like I couldn't touch it. I didn't have the heart to touch it. But now, I don't have a choice. He's not here, and so I'm him now. I'm that guy. That guy that had it is gone. Now it's mine. So now, if the grandkids looking at me funny, it's because this is my car, and they're looking at me like, you gonna let go of that? If they even want it. Now, granted, I'm sure I get it running, and it's, it's something. One of them is gonna want it. But I tell you this, nobody's done any work. Nobody's putting in any work. Every car I got out there, I've worked on myself. There's nobody over here putting their hands on nothing but me. And that's another thing. How do these kids think you're going to give up something and ain't none of them ever put their hands on it? They never put in any hard work. They never sand a panel, drop an engine in, drop a transmission, put a carburetor on, pull the carburetor off, get gas all over your hand. Any of these things that are associated with this hobby. For some of you, this is a hobby. This ain't no hobby for me. My wife calls it a hobby. This ain't no hobby. I eat, sleep, and breathe this. I always have. No, I never had buckets of money, but I got drive. I got ambition. I got greasy hands. I ain't afraid to get dirty. I dismantled this whole car by myself. In fact, every part that's in here, I got it in here by myself. I got the engine off the truck by myself. Got the car in here by myself. I brought the subframe in here by myself. And it's fully assembled, sitting on the other side of this camera, sitting up against the wall. Trust me, it ain't easy. I get it. I'm a big man. So yeah, I can motivate a few things on my own, but it'd been cool to have a few hands, but everybody's lazy. But that's okay. That's all right. I'm gonna get it done. I did ask him one question. Simple question. Did I make you proud? He said, yeah. I'm proud of it. It would almost make a person want to tear up. I didn't, but he got me. I didn't say nothing after that. That's all I needed to know. That I just made you proud. There wasn't anything else I could say. There wasn't anything else to be said. I do this for myself. This would be my last hurrah. No, I'm not dying. And even if I was, I wouldn't come over here and tell anybody I was dying. I'd just be like, look, this will be the last car I'm going to build. And I said I was going to build one more car, but it wasn't going to be this one. I get this one done. I wanted one more Chevy. I wanted to take one last shot at one more Chevy. But it has seemed to eluded me. But I still got stuff to do. And I might get there, I might not. But I'm going to get this one done. I'm going to get this one done, and I'm going to put a plaque on the glove box. It's got his name on it. So whoever gets it, they'll know whose car it was. I put his name on it, I put my name on it. They'll know it was his car first, then it was my car. Whoever ends up with it after that, then they can put their name on it and it'll be their car. Hopefully it'll never leave the family. Hopefully. A lot of nostalgia in that car. It ain't anything special to anybody else but me. It's a sprint car. It ain't a 400 car. It didn't come out with a V8. But at this point, what does it matter? It ain't numbers matching. I couldn't even tell you what a motor is that was in this car. Don't nobody care. I'm not putting a straight six in nothing I own. I don't want a straight six, no 4-cylinder. I'm a V8 guy. Big V8 guy. If I had the money, I'd put a 600 something cubic inch Pontiac motor in it. The biggest Pontiac motor I could find. This one will do. So I figured I'd come back and finish what I was saying about this car, about this engine. I don't know where you are in life as far as this goes. This ain't all there is. I mean, you gotta walk out of here and go out in the world and work, and it ain't just, car life. And I see some of these groups these kids are in, and that's great. They got the little Jap cars, and they're out there with the fart cans on them, and they're lowered on the ground and all that, and that's great. Y'all having a good time with that, and I don't know how long that's gonna last, but that's great. And you got, your big shows where you got your muscle cars and your cars with your blowers out of the hood and all that, and that's where I'm at. And that never went anywhere. It's still around. So we didn't go nowhere, so that might not go anywhere. Still, you gotta ask yourself though, where's all this going? I can only enjoy it while I can. Try to do a little work this year. Get some work done in here. My first thing I gotta do is clean this garage out. I had it completely cleaned out at one point, but now I've accrued all kinds of stuff hanging off the walls. Any number of things. But this is where it's at, right? This is what we do till we can't do it no more. And then we pass it on to somebody else if they want it. So I was just finishing this up. I hope y'all learned something. This my channel, I don't come on here and turn wrenches in front of you because there's enough people doing that already. But you know where this is going. I mean, this ain't Sesame Street. I mean, I don't really think it matters what brand you rep. I mean, I know what I like. I know what I got. Other than what I like a lot of things. I like this car. In fact, I love this car. I've always loved it. It got my attention. And so it pointed my attention to other cars. So I don't knock what other people like. I know what I like, and that's fine if they like it, but I don't have to like it. I'm not into Japanese cars. I can respect the fact that some people like them and they want to fix them up, but that ain't my bag. My bag is old iron. I like cars from the 60s, the 50s, the late 70s. It's about as far as I go. If I'm going to do 80s, Mustang maybe. Fox body Camaro, that Trans Am. I'll stay within that realm if I got to. But I don't go no farther than that. My new car, I'm learning. I'm learning on the new cars. I think they're a little bit expensive, but I think that they, if we get into that, I think they tried to sell this to us. We do this, so they got some of us on their team, and now they want to sell it to us instead of us just building it ourselves. I'm not paying $100,000 for nothing. I'll build my own. That's where I'm at. That's what I was taught. We'll get into some of Pop's lessons of life. I got plenty of them. I got a lecture every day of my life. I did. Anyway, we'll wrap it up. And I didn't give this car a name because it don't need one. All my other cars have names. This car was just always called the Pontiac. It wasn't called anything else because that's what he called it. So I just left it. I'm not going to call it anything. Pop's car. I thought about Smiling Jack. You know, like the gassers. They put a moniker on the side. I might do it. I don't know. We'll see. So, see you on the next video. Maybe by then I'll have this place cleaned up and we'll be doing something else. I'll be glad when this wintertime is over. I hate wintertime. Just so you know. Anyway, I'll catch y'all on the next video. Keep between the ditches.